Reclaiming Timeless Ways, welcome to another episode. This is Mike Traster. I'm Simon Fuller. Hey. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you joining us for another episode. And Mike, today has us traveling in what direction?
I don't know. I actually put 3 question marks on the top of the page. And there was this scene, if you remember, what was it? Warren Beatty was doing a scene with Al Pacino and Dick Tracy.
Okay.
Remember that movie? It was
Sure.
Okay. And so Pacino plays one of the bad guys, and the bad guys are almost like cartoon characters. I think there were cartoon characters in them. And he stops everybody and he goes, wait, I'm having a thought. Wait, it's gone. And everybody's like, okay. So anyway, I was going to title this At Uncle Herbie's, and what it was about was just about being around people who are the rock stars, the important people,
sure.
Right? So we all kind of bow and scrape and kiss their butts, which they don't deserve, and it's not healthy for anyone, right? So I wrote the rock star, the PhD, the doc, the golf pro, the captain of industry. And so everybody winds up kind of circling around them and trying to catch their attention and
sure.
earn their admiration or respect or praise, and nothing good happens. And so everybody's speaking in inorganic, excuse me, ways. So we lose our sense of ourself, and we forget our purpose, and we wind up getting distracted by this person's the desire for their influence,
right?
So we're so obsessed with getting their positive impression of us to gain some material benefit, right? That we lose ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we lose ourselves, we're useless.
Yeah, all of a sudden that's another motivating factor behind decisions you make.
Right.
And it could be a series of decisions in your world, but as soon as the motivation is not pure and yours in nature, but you've got these outside factors, I'm going to go buy this to impress this person, but I'm not financially in a place that I should be affording that. So now I'm strapping myself for my family, or I'm going to go to this event that I shouldn't be seeing. You've now got this motivating factor that oftentimes can lead to unhealthy consequences of some sort.
Sure, you don't have enough wherewithal to do it, but you're driven by the thought that there's something there that's going to nourish you, even though it's unrealistic, very unrealistic. Right. And they're spoiled, so they're getting all this adulation, and they're like taking it, and then they're giving back crumbs, So it's kind of a trap. I think what we need to do is just strive to be ourselves and to express, like we were talking about in the previous show, to express organically, to let the passion move through us. There was a term I remember learning. It was a series of courses I took many years ago as a form of healing similar to acupressure called polarity. And the teacher described each of us as a conduit or a pipe through which healing comes. So if you think about it, if you're doing, and again, I don't want to get into the trap of arguing about terminology, but a lot of people believe that there's such a thing as intercessory prayer. So you're praying for someone else's well-being, right? So in that sense, on some level, you're a conduit or a pipe. You're the vessel through which you're asking God's will and healing to be flowed in some way, right? Or at least the messenger,
right?
So when we're trying hard to impress somebody, we lose that natural part of ourselves because we're making a false God, So maybe that would be Uncle Herbie. Right. Or whoever else it is that we're trapped. We're on the hook.
Right.
You know, the hook is in our jaw, and we're trapped. And afterwards, we're always mad at ourselves. It's like, why the hell did I do that? You know?
You know, any healthy relationship,
Right.
and that's a tie to this, has close to a 50-50 give. Maybe it's 60.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little different for everybody, but there's give and take. Maybe I
Right.
should say that. And it's not one gives a lot and the other gives crumbs. I've met, you know, and oftentimes we associate as you do, there's certain classes. And I think we as humans have made these classes, so you're picking out some sports phenoms or or industry type, you know,
Right.
tycoons.
Influential.
Sure. And fortunately, there are also a lot of those folks that are still good, and they don't
Oh, yes.
they don't state classes. So I guess what I would say is, in a healthy relationship, Mike, whether it be with someone who's a higher or lower class, that's defined by us. It's not real.
Right, it's not.
We make up these classes.
Right.
If there's positive ebb and flow, give and take, that's what you're looking for.
Right.
And I don't care who it is. If there's just take, and you're give, get out. I mean, that's really a summation of this. It's not healthy. It's not good for you or them.
Right.
They might think it's good for them. It's not. It's feeding an evil, an evil individual, and you're the source.
They might not even be directly evil, but they might be very disciplined parasites.
Right.
You know? And so one of the words...
Disciplined parasite. That's an interesting. Just let that sink in for a minute. That's an interesting term.
Yeah. So I think one of the I called it revenge here. I'm not sure if that's partly true, because I guess they need to have their nose tweaked. But beyond that, you also need to stay off the hook. We need to stay off, all of us, right? So the way you stay off the hook is you say to yourself, "Oh, the little Lord, over here who wants you to lean on your hands and knees so he can use you to climb up onto the ladder, right? To put his foot on your back, and because that's your station,
Right.
right? Be indifferent. Just stop acknowledging that they exist.
Right.
Don't give them anything in the room. If you're in a room and somebody gave $5,000 for the roof project on the church, right, or the city building, whatever it is, and they're the Lord, don't play into that. Don't play into the fact that they're there any more than you would somebody else in the room who didn't give 5 cents. So it's not that you're maliciously, although you might want to punish them a little bit because they do harm, because in the act of becoming important, they make other people smaller. There's a contract of agreement where, oh well, so and so, the little lord or princess, is so important. Then by contrast, that clearly implies that old Doris over there who gave $1.50 she's nothing.
There was a story recently I came across in Scripture that talked about Jesus again. How he oftentimes would be found. I like to think of him as sort of a warrior at times, battling against these religious hierarchs. You could say these folks that are there they're the ones giving all the money to the roof project just for the namesake. Look at me, look at me, look at me. So they were all giving their offering, and here a poor widow gave a couple bronze coins.
Right.
And Jesus made it a point to say, she's given more than all of you because she had nothing to give,
Right.
and gave that up.
That was her last coins.
That was what she had. So it wasn't about the amount. It was about what they were giving, and that was the story of From the Heart. What are you giving? It's not based on quantity, status, who you are, what you... And so I just love that imagery. It really...
It's an amazing image.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So the whole idea to not be impressed by anyone or to impress anyone, and going back to this important lesson that you're talking about, it said that the first time he came as a lamb, but it also said he's coming back as a lion.
Yeah,
Same guy.
right.
So how come he came as a lamb? Well, it took a lot of strength to come as a lamb, more than we can imagine.
Yeah.
So that's the next one, or the last one, Uncle Herbie's, or the 10 question marks.
Yeah, what the bleep?
What the bleep?
Mike literally said, well, I have some question marks on my page, not 100% sure the title. I'm thinking, as I'm writing this, what the heck is going on here? So therefore is our title. We hope you
What the
enjoyed
bleep?
the show.
What the bleep?
And maybe the title brought you into it to hear
Maybe.
what the bleep we were going to talk about. But we appreciate your viewership. We, of course, always encourage you to share it. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already done so to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to visiting with you again in the future.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Take care.